everyone, it's Monique Renewed. Welcome back for another video. Yay! So today's video is about how God drew me closer to him. Usually it's the other way around, how I drew closer to God, but no, it's how God drew me closer to him. I'm going to explain. So let's start back from the beginning. You know how God was like introduced to my life through church, obviously. So my mom, it was very important for her that I'd go to church. So about at 9 years old is when I started to attend church on a regular basis. I'm talking about like twice on Sundays and a few days, well, maybe like a couple of days on the weekday. It was that serious. So like I would even go to church while she was at work. She would make arrangements for me to stay with someone so I can go in the morning and then go with them in the evening. It was that serious to her. So like, you know, for about 2 years until like I was 11 years old, I would attend church every day, about 2 to 3 times a week. And you know, life happens. We stopped going for whatever reason. And to me, at that age, I didn't really understand the concept of God. Like, church was just worship and prayer. I didn't even understand the sermons. The sermons was in a different language. I couldn't really understand what was going on. I just went to church just to go to church because my mom told me to go to church. So that was about it. So for whatever reason, we stopped going to church after 2 years. I'm about like 11 years old. And fast forward to when I'm adult, 16 years later, I didn't have a home church. I was not attending church regularly. By this time, I'm out in my mother's house, of course. I'm not attending church regularly. I don't have a home church. People would invite me to church, and 9 times out of 10, I was not going. Like, you could not get me to go to church. Like, if I went to church, it's because somebody had to ask me more than once and had to drag me. Okay, like I wasn't going. But anyways, and then every time I would come to my mother's house, she'd be like, Monique, are you going to church? Are you praying? I know you don't pray. And yeah. And I'm just like, no, Mom, like, I'm not going to church. I'm good. I do pray every once in a while, you know. And she was like, you need to be praying. You need to go to church. Like, she would always hound me every time I would come to her house. I'm just like, Mom, leave me alone. But anyways, it was really serious to her. I didn't understand why, but I was just living my life. I was like, I'm good. But oddly enough, because of what she kind of instilled in me when I was young, you know, God was very important to her, obviously. So even, you know, when I wasn't living with her, I would still pray. I still believed in God. You know, I consider him to be real. And every once in a while, I would thank him, you know, thank him for my life and thank him for what I had in life. And I would ask for, you know, stuff I wanted every once in a while. But it wasn't no relationship. It was no relationship there. And it was kind of funny because like I would like scroll on social media. If I even saw the name Jesus, I would like scroll right past it like so fast. Like I don't know what was wrong with me, but like I was just like, nah. Anyways. And it's just so funny now that I think about it. But fast forward a little bit, y'all, I done got into my 3rd car accident. The first car accident kind of traumatized me a little bit because what had happened was, I remember it was Valentine's Day. It was dark outside. I left from work and it was sleet on the ground, so it was really slick. And I was driving down the hill with my little Plymouth Neon, and I tapped my foot on that brake and I came sliding down that hill. And I crashed into the back of this car that had already crashed into a pole. So it was a pole, the car, and my car. And I was done. So then I got into another car accident. And now I got into my 3rd car accident. And my anxiety is through the roof. Like, if you know me personally, you know that I hate driving, especially on the highway. I've gotten a little bit better, but there are some people that just love drive. They love to drive. They love to get behind the wheel. They love to. I hate driving. I hate driving. Like, I hate it so bad. So I'm struggling at this point after I got into my third car accident with these thoughts and these images in my head. Like, every time I would get behind the wheel, it was so serious. Like, I could not stop looking in my rearview mirror. Like, I would be so scared that a car was gonna hit me from behind, because my last accident, I got hit from behind. So I'm over here, I'm driving, and every time I get in this particular lane to turn left, if I'm stopped at this lane and on this road, these cars be going like 80, 90 miles per hour, even though the speed limit is like 55. But every time I get in this particular lane, I would always look in my rear view mirror to make sure nobody was coming behind me to hit me. Like, it was so serious. Like, and then I would always think like a commuter bus was gonna come from the opposite side of me and hit me from the front. Like, I was done. So I'm struggling. And beyond those type of thoughts of having a car accident, I'm also having other like evil thoughts in my head, like thoughts of like self-harm or harming other people, and it was just beginning to be like too much. So one fateful day, or evening rather, and I remember it like it was yesterday. I had my laptop and I'm sitting at my dining room table, and I'm on YouTube, of course. Like, I was a YouTube addict. Like, I didn't watch TV, I watched YouTube, and I still do. I'm on YouTube, and there's these recommended videos that keep coming up, and from faith-based channels, okay? And it was just one video in particular that I clicked on. It said how to get past anxiety, and I was like, oh, word, let me see what she got to say. So I clicked on the video. The channel name, her name was Leah Essence, that's her channel name, and she started talking about God and stuff, and she quoted a scripture from 2 Timothy 1 verse 7, and it said, God does not give you a spirit of fear, but of peace and a sound mind. And I said, really? Then why am I living a life full of fear if he does not give us a spirit of fear? Why? And then she started talking about how our enemy, aka the devil, is prowling around like a lion seeking someone to devour. And I said, what? I said, word? And she was just like explaining all this stuff. I was like, oh my gosh, like, and how he just injects our mind with all these evil thoughts, and the purpose is to draw you further away from God. And I was just like, everything just started to make sense. I was like, wow. Like, it was like I received a missing puzzle piece, and everything in life just started to make sense. And I was just like, wow. So I was sort of like, at this point, I was like binge watching these YouTube videos from Christians that were talking about God, and I was learning more. And I was like, you know what? Everything in the Bible is like, it's almost parallel to what's happening now, if you really think about it. Even though the Bible was written 2,000 years ago, everything that happened back then is like nothing new to what's happening now. It's, sure, there's cultural context or whatever, but I'm saying, like, in general, it's like it makes sense. So I'm just like, wow, everything's just clicking in my head. I'm just like, this is crazy. And then there's another YouTuber that I watched that day, Chelsea Choose. I was watching her old videos, and there was these series of videos in particular she made where she had to move out of her apartment, and she was looking for an apartment, and she was applying, and nothing was happening. And she was doing these videos while in the process, and she was like, she's doing these videos in the process to show her faith, and that she knew God was going to come through for her. And she's not going to make these videos after the fact that happened. She's going to do it now so that she can show us God coming through for her. And it seemed like almost like at the last minute, she finally got approved for an apartment, and she knew it was because of God. I was just like, who is this big? I was like, wow, oh my gosh. So I was sold. So I was like, okay. I brought a journal. It was a few months afterwards. I brought a journal, and I started documenting my journey. And I brought a Bible, and I started reading my Bible like almost every day. And let me tell y'all, where it says in John 4:8, where it says, draw near to God and he will draw near to you, that couldn't be more true than anything. I'm telling you, like, as soon as I like started taking my relationship with him seriously, he will reveal himself to you like nobody's business. Like, and I'm telling you, if you seek him, he will reveal himself to you. And that happened for me as I started reading my Bible like every day, as I started journaling my lessons that I was learning, things that were happening. And he was revealing himself to me through his word, through his Holy Spirit. I started buying devotionals. He was speaking to me through the devotionals, through dreams, through visions, through other people, at sermons at church that was literally answering something I had prayed about just the other day. It was so crazy to me. Like, it was bizarre. It's nothing I've ever experienced. So I was like, wow, like this is real. So I couldn't doubt God's existence, even if I wanted to. Like, I couldn't. And that's not to say I still don't struggle today. Now, my anxiety with like me driving and stuff, that has decreased significantly since then. I will say that, thank God, because I was a hot mess. I'm still a hot mess, but you know, less of a hot mess nowadays, more in other areas. But I still struggle with anxiety, depression, and doubt. And the doubt, let me explain, doesn't stem from whether or not I believe God is real. I know God is real. Sometimes my doubt stems from, is he really going to do what he says he's going to do? Am I really going to see these promises that he's been saying? Is he really going to take care of me? Is he really going to provide for me? Is this situation really going to work out for my good? I mean, I know he's good, but is good going to happen in my life? You know, that's where the doubt comes from. And I know better than this. I know these are lies from the enemy, and I know what it says in his word. I know I should be applying his word out loud. But sometimes this walk is hard. This journey is hard in general. Life is hard in general. And sometimes you just get overcome by life, overcome by certain situations. But it says in his word, take courage because he has overcome the world. So I think my problem really is sometimes I just forget. I forget the word. I forget to retrieve the word. I forget to apply it. I forget to say it out loud. Or maybe it's not because I forget, maybe because I'm reluctant to do so, and that's my fault. And sometimes I feel like my depression gets worse than before I started this whole thing. But then I sit here and I think, is it really getting worse? Or are those things that were hidden deep into your heart are finally being revealed to the surface so it can be dealt with? And I think it's the latter. But if anybody's struggling in their walk, I encourage you not to give up. I've wanted to give up about every other day. But I think it's going to be worth it in the end. Keep going. He's there. He's watching. And if you maybe doubt God is real, I would say try him. You know, he in his word, he says, if you draw near to him, he will draw near to you. And me along with so many other people have experienced this. But I feel like if you're intentional and you seek him, he will reveal himself to you. So that's about it. That's how God drew me close to him, via my struggles. And I acknowledge that I need God every single day. I'm still a hot mess, but I'm gonna keep going. And if you watch my last video on how to overcome masturbation and pornography, follow me on my social media accounts, which will be at Monique Renewed on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. And catch you guys next time. Bye.